Hello everyone, and welcome to episode 2 of season 2 and the HONESTea. My name is Angela Malachi, and I am so grateful to be here again today and just speaking to you about prosperity from a place of honesty and integrity and just being my truest self. And the whole intention of this podcast is that my hope is that as I, fulfill my purpose and turn up as honestly and as vulnerable as I can, that it will give you some, permission to turn up as honestly as you can in your life. And this particular season we're talking about prosperity, and prosperity in all its forms, and sometimes, yes, that is financial wealth, and sometimes it can be, all of the things, all of the greatness, all of the beauty of life, and the wealth and the freedom. And and so we're going to talk about it all. And today I am calling this episode Focus, Focus, Focus. And the reason why I'm calling it that is because, we spend so much time looking sideways and comparing ourselves to other people that we forget to be intentional about ourselves. And we spend so much time worried that we are not where we should be, that we are, at this age we should be here, at this time in our lives we should be here, I don't look as good as this other person. I thought I was doing great, but now I see somebody else is doing better than me. And we spend so much time in that comparison. And the reason why I'm calling it focus is, so I heard a story about a mum who, when she crosses her children across the street, she had said, focus, 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 we are focusing on crossing the street. And I thought, how cool, because that's how I like to operate my life nowadays. Haven't always been like this, but being a leader in your life means to focus, focus, focus on what you're doing, to quiet all the noise, to stop being in comparison, and to, where your attention goes, your intention flows. So what happens when you stop being in comparison, when you start to really feel into who you are, when you decide and choose every day to be a leader in your life, and that's my jam, right? Talking about becoming a leader. And that doesn't mean a leader in your business, but it can mean that. It means a leader in your life. And what I mean by that is to choose every day, how am I going to show up? What am I going to look like? To put my focus on myself. So rather than, here's this really funny story, which is that, and it's an easy one to relate to. So I, some years ago, my husband and I were going to travel, and we were going to go for quite an extended period of time. I used to have not super, but really light hair. I was always trying to cover up my grays. Still doing that now, not gonna lie. And I had really light hair, but I had this light hair for like 15 years. And I was at the hairdresser's, and she was saying, how are you going to maintain this while you're doing all this traveling? How are you going to maintain this hair? And I was like, good point. She said, why don't we just go dark? We'll go back, as close as we can to your normal color, and you won't have to do that. So, I had this hair for like 15, maybe longer years, very similar kind of color and whatever. And anyway, we did it, and she was like, oh my God, you look like a different person. You look so much younger. People aren't probably not even going to recognize you. We were both in shock, like, oh yeah, it's going to be amazing. and I go home, and no one noticed except my husband. And I'm pretty sure the only reason he noticed was because he knew I had a hair appointment that day. So this is what I mean. And no one else noticed. People who'd known me forever No one noticed. People who saw me regularly, people that, that I, even my own children, nobody knew. And the reason why that is because everybody is thinking about themselves and concerned about themselves and what they're wearing and what they're doing and what they're looking like. But then what we do is we focus on all the noise and all the other people, and we compare ourselves to people. And there's this beautiful gift, when you stop being in comparison. And the way so ever since I heard that, I heard the story of the mum who says, focus, 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 a while ago, quite a long while ago. And I started to utilize that in my life. And I thought about where my attention was going, because I knew that my attention, when I put my attention on things that matter, that was where my intention would go. It started to mean that I was generating more of what was fulfilling for me. So that's the thing I say in my head, focus, focus, focus. Whenever I start to compare myself, and it's easy to, right? I'm of an age, well, we're always of an age where we're like, where are we in life? Have I, did I accomplish everything that I wanted to at this stage? And to be honest with you, I'm like, just had a birthday, and I'm like, there's so much more I want to achieve. I would have thought at this stage that maybe I'd be on the slow down, right? And a lot of people are, but I have had this whole lifetime with this incredible career, and I am on this new trajectory with a different career that I actually love so much more, and so in my purpose, which is why I have this podcast, because I want more people to understand how to live their hero's journey and be in their truth and be more of themselves, so they can also fulfill their purpose and be in their hero's journey. And I've grown up my kids and done all of those things, and now I'm about living in this new energy and this new purpose and this new version of me, and helping others to do the same. And the way that I do it is with my voice, but you get to do it in whichever way you can. And if you've heard me talk about that, I call it your song. So every time I'm losing focus and I'm getting in comparison and I'm thinking, oh man, that woman is so accomplished. And usually for me, that's how it is. That person is, well, it's not always a woman. That person is so accomplished, and wow, they're so much younger than me, and I should be so much further along. And, when I say to myself, focus, focus, focus. Where your attention goes, your intention flows, and remind myself to keep focused on me. What is it that is my journey? Where am I going? Why am I doing this? What's my intention around my podcast, around my speaking, around my, my coaching? What am I trying to do? And I remember that I'm here to be of service, And we're going to talk about service versus sacrifice in an upcoming episode, because it's such a valuable one to talk about. But right now, we are talking about focusing. And the other thing that this does, when you focus your energy on what matters to you, and you keep pulling yourself back in, whenever you go into comparison and you're worried about what other people are thinking, and you're not just, get up in the morning and just say, what do you want to wear? What do you feel like wearing, Ange? And just feel really good about it all day, and screw what everyone else thinks. And you don't have to be like anyone else. I remember my daughter was quite young, maybe she was like a teenager, and I was getting ready. I can't remember where I was going somewhere, and she came and she said, oh Mum, you look really beautiful. And I said, oh yeah, but I think I might be overdressed, I'm going to change. And she said, Mum, don't you ever dim your light for anyone. And this young girl taught me a lesson, and I was like, you're right, I actually love being bougie sometimes, and you know what, screw it, I'm gonna go out like this, and I don't care what anybody else thinks, or how I showed up. And she taught me something so valuable, and that's what I want to give you. So whenever you are in comparison, focus on you. What's your intention for doing whatever you're about to do, for going wherever you're going, for being brave enough to show up, for being available for people? Remember what your intention is. Remember why you're there. Focus on you. And the other wonderful gift that this gives you is that when you focus on yourself, when you are solely focused on what you're doing and why you're there and what your intention is, it means that you can also give that gift to other people. So when you are focused on you and what you're doing, and you're appreciative of yourself, and you are living in your purpose, and you're in the energy of your purpose, and you're reminding yourself all the time not to be in comparison, when you do that, you give the gift to other people, because they're in the energy of you just focusing on what you want to do. And also you give permission to other people when you see that they're in comparison, and when they maybe are not feeling in their highest and best, and when you can see that they might be in comparison and that they might be turning up in their wounds, and you can be, and instead of you getting in your angst and in your pain body, when somebody turns up in their wounds for you, when you focus on who you are, when you appreciate who you are, when you love who you are, when you love how you're showing up in the world, when you stop comparing yourself to other people, it gives you permission to allow other people in your life to show up how they are, however they are, and for you to appreciate whatever that is. So if they're being a mirror for you and they happen to be triggering you, that you can go, you know what, I'm going to focus on me. I'm going to focus on my intention for being here today. And it doesn't matter what everybody else is doing. And it doesn't matter if they're turning up in their wounds. And I can actually be just fully myself and really okay to allow that person to be who they are, and to focus on me and my energy, and to stay in my lane, and to remain kind to myself, and to be kind to other people, no matter how they show up for you. And you know, we are the CEOs of our life. Become the CEO of your life. You know, you get to hire, fire, and promote accordingly. So I'm not saying that we just allow people to treat us badly. That's not what I'm saying, because being of intention and living, it doesn't mean that we are ignoring. You know, notice when your wounds come up, your own wounds, and go, I'm going to focus. I'm going to choose to focus on myself. But if you've got a wound that needs addressing, you know, so go home and have a think about that. I mean, I recently went to an event where I felt I got into comparison, and I didn't kind of recognize it at the time, but afterwards I realized that I was really comparing myself to one of the speakers on the panel, actually. And I thought, wow, you know, I had thought that I had really resolved all of that, but I hadn't. And so it gave me this really beautiful understanding of myself, that I still had stuff, you know. And healing's a journey. It's not a destination, if you haven't heard me say that before. So we're always discovering new levels of ourselves, and the world is a mirror of ourselves. And so it's a great awareness. And then I just reminded myself, focus, and hence why we're here today. And when we focus on ourselves, we give ourselves that intentionality, and we quiet the noise. That is how we live in our own prosperity. And yeah, also it's okay to make mistakes, you know. So we realize, and I don't believe anything is a mistake. Nothing in your life is a mistake. Everything is an opportunity for growth. Everything is an opportunity for you to be more, do more, have more. And everything that shows up in your life is there for a reason. We can't know, like the only way we know that something is right is hindsight. Hindsight gives you 20/20 vision. Life is lived forwards and understood backwards. The beauty of living in your purpose is that you're going to grow every day. You're going to have to be brave. You're going to, you're going to challenge yourself. You're going to see wounds that you maybe have seen but haven't wanted to address before. Look at me. I'm filming again in a bloody hotel room, and I just realized the lighting's kind of gone to crap. But I can't do much about that. I'm filming by a window, and it was great before, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, because the intention of this, it doesn't change the intention of the message, So allow for yourself to be in a space where you are learning and growing. And yeah, you're going to fuck up so many times. You're probably going to screw up so many times, and be okay with that, because every time, I don't know how many times in my life, something has felt awful and horrible at the time, and it has worked out for me. And you also get to choose you get to choose that, right? So when, I remember when I first moved to New Zealand, somebody who I'd worked all these weeks on and done all this hours with just ghosted me out of the blue, and I didn't know why. I still don't know why to this day. I was like, what happened there? But I know it was for my highest, and it was for my best. It was the best thing for me, because I was like, okay, potentially that's the universe, that's God, that's source, whatever you want to call your creator, giving me a sign that wasn't the right person for me to work with. Because I would never want to be in business with somebody who ghosts someone else. Never. That's just not how I roll. I'm so about honesty and transparency. And so I was like grateful for the lesson. And I want you to understand, every growth, everything that you consider to be a mistake is not a mistake. It's a growth. It's an opportunity. It's an opportunity to see and to grow and to learn, and to be more of yourself, and to focus on what is my intention here. And whenever people let you down, absolutely draw a boundary, absolutely learn the lesson, absolutely choose yourself, and like I said, hire, fire, and promote accordingly. Like the boss you get to be in your life. And that is the intention of this, is that you get to be a leader in your own life, that you get to live your purpose, that you get to live how you want to, you get to show up how you want to, you get to focus on what it is that has meaning and what's important to you. In every situation, ask yourself, what is my intention? What's important to me? What should I be focusing on? And then renew your focus and return to who you are, return to who it is that you want to be. Remember, always focus, and put your intention, your attention on whatever it is that your intention is for that situation. And people will see you, and you, more importantly, you will see yourself, and your cup will overflow into all of the wonder of life. And so I'm going to leave it there. As always, I hope that you will heal deeply, lead boldly, live fully. And I am so grateful that you have chosen to take your precious time to spend it with me today. I appreciate you so much, more than you will ever know.